Hi everyone, welcome to my next video in this series of 6 spherical designs from Small Victories by Johanna Basford. We're using Polychromos pencils, as we have with all of them. That's going to be the pencil used for the whole page. And I am coming into this one, this fishy design, which is very sweet. I'm trying to decide, how much detail to put into our fish, but we're going to get going and then we'll decide. So I've got my cadmium orange, there, and I'm going to start. Now for a fish, I'm going to ignore the scales at the moment, go darker here and here. So around the edge, make them a little bit darker, and then slowly reduce the intensity of colour coming up towards the top like that, so that we've got a lighter area which might even have a little bit of white in it, and hopefully that makes it look a little shiny. We're going to do the same on this one. I realise we haven't done half the fish, that's fine. Now you could colour each individual scale, which I do sometimes do. Because this fish isn't very big, I'm not going to do it that way. I'm just going to gently reduce that up so he's got a bit of a shine. Now these are the other way up, so I think we're going to do our shine on the other way. It's not easy to know how to do this on a spherical design, but I'm just going to do what I think might work. So keep the intensity here and less as we go downwards this time rather than upwards. I think this also helps the fish look slightly more rounded in shape, hopefully. That's also part of the idea. Now I had thought that I might then go over the scales in a different colour, but I'm quite liking how they're looking without doing that. So I'm in two minds whether that's going to work. We'll do the fins and tail first and then make a decision. Right, let's pop that pencil over there. I think I'm just going to use the dark cadmium orange for the tails and fins. I gave it a sharpen. You'll have to believe me that it's the dark one. I've sharpened the name off. It's getting a little small. So now I don't know why I always do fins and tail darker. If you actually look at real fish, they are often quite thin and wispy and sort of pale and almost white, but so this I think is quite a childish way to colour a fish, but I rather like it. So I have tried doing it in a more realistic way and I didn't like it, so I've just gone back to doing it in my slightly childish style, and it makes me happy anyway. I'm just looking at what else we've got to colour, because I sort of zoned in on fish. We've got circles which look like they could be bubbles because we're under the water, but because I'm not doing a background, I might do those in blue. It's a bit easier than trying to do a blue background and white bubbles or something like that. Yeah, I think that's what I will do. And we've got the shell at top and bottom by the looks of it, and these sort of seaweeds. Where should we go next? I think we'll grab this. We'll do a slightly browny greeny seaweed to start with. It might not look as pretty, but I think this colour goes well with orange. So this is the olive green yellowish, and I'm going to do these ones near the fish. There's a tiny gap I think down there, but it's very small. block it in. Very confused. I thought my one son was streaming. I can hear my other one talking. Doesn't usually like people talking while he's streaming. I wonder if the internet's gone down. Or he might decided to join in on the stream. He doesn't usually do. Let's see. It's not time for him to have ended yet. Oh well. I might find out later. I was just starting to think, do I need to think about what to cook for tea? It's only 2:20. It's a little bit early, but I've got something to do late afterwards, so I need to be on it. And we've got very limited veggies and food because husband's hurt his back again, so he can't drive, so we did a bit of a quick shop and just got a few bits and pieces, but we should be fine. I'm sure we'll have enough. We've got lots of, luckily we've got a lot of food in the freezer. We always keep a sort of backup. I think we always have really. When you have kids, you sort of get yourself a bit prepared, because even if you can go hungry, they can't. And then of course during lockdown we couldn't go shopping so often, so we sort of prepared in that way too. Right, I'm going to use a slightly different colour. This is the chromium green opaque, and I'm going to do this tangle here. It's quite complicated, so I'm actually just going to do that. I'm not going to do that bit that's sitting there. I think this bit, but not, I'm going to do that bit just in a different colour, or else I think if I do it this colour it will sort of not show up very well. So I think that will just help us a little bit. And I might use, no, I won't use the same colour up there. I'll use a slightly different colour. So I am just blocking this in because it's quite narrow. So it's a little bit tricky to do anything else with. And I think a nice defined colour can work well on a thin vine or leaf. Just gone out of the lines there. Never mind. Okay, and now I'm going to use the earth green yellowish. Just need to give it a sharpen, of course. There we go, earth green yellowish. And I'm going to do these little bee shapes. And these bits up here. Now these are quite long and simple, so you could, if you wanted, make it a little more intense at each end, a little lighter in the middle. But it may not show up massively. You may need to use another colour here and here to make it really stand out. I'm going to try and do it, but I'm not sure it's going to show. I think this little book will be finished quite quickly by a lot of people. I'm not sure how long it normally takes me to finish Johanna's books. I think about 6 months. But it depends how many videos I make, because if I make videos it might slow me down a little bit. Because I can't just do them in my free time, I have to do them when I'm recording, of course. I'm just looking at the shells, but I'm thinking of the colour of the fish. I'm trying to work out, and the leaves, what's going to work. But then we've got the bubbles to do. I am going to do something a little bit different with the bubbles. I'm going to do them quite dark blue. We've already used the light blue in the design above. So I'm actually going to use the Prussian blue for the bubbles. And then I'm going to think about that shell. Now, to make something look more bubbly, it can be good to put a little bit of shine, like a little line. So if this whole circle's a bubble, which you could do, that would be quite cool. You would put a shine line around here parallel with that circular shape, but it's very difficult to do that with these bubbles because they're just too small. So I'm just going to colour them in and leave them. But I am still thinking about what to do with that shell. I'm wondering whether a slightly browny colour, because some shells are brown. And I'm just trying to sort of match it in. I mean, the blue doesn't really match though, but it seems to work. There we go. So, I think I might just go. Let's just try this, because I can always go over it if it doesn't matter. I'm going to try the cinnamon. Let's give it a sharpen. Cinnamon. Because I don't want anything quite as pale as the sort of salmon. I'm going to fade it a bit towards the middle, and I think it might just match better than a sort of pink because it's close-ish. It's got some orange in it. Oh yeah, there we go. Now you could, if you wish, put some dots of white in there, put some more shine on the fish with a white pen, and maybe try something with the bubbles. You could put a bit of glitter over them, something like that. But I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm quite enjoying that simplicity. So yeah, I'm going to leave that. It's going to be a bit odd if we end up putting white pen on all the left-hand ones and not on the right-hand ones. But you know, we might not. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a really super day and happy colouring.